Hi everybody, my name is Victoria Wyman with Victoria's Productions, and today I am going to show you how to do a cold call. So because we are in 2023, people feel that we don't need to do cold calls anymore, which is 100% inaccurate. You're going to have slow times where you're going to have to literally pick up the phone and you have to just start looking for new customers and looking for new projects. And so now you think, okay, so the first thing is, how do you get your cold calls? So depending on what industry that you're in, there are ways to obtain your cold calls. So the cold calls that I obtain for my business, I'm in construction, is through the ROC. And so the ROC has a list of new contractors, and I literally email them, I call them and see if they're looking for an excavation contractor. And if so, I send all my information to them through email. And if that's not the case, there are other ways of getting cold calls. Now, getting a cold call list. You can purchase it, but I don't think that's the best thing, only because you don't know who these people are and if they really are looking for your service. In my specific situation, I know that all the builders most of the builders that are going to be having a license, they may need an excavation contractor at some point. So me calling them, I don't feel guilty or wrong for calling them, because they're going to need our services eventually if they are general contractors for residential or commercial. So I'm very specific when it comes to my cold calls and who I'm calling. They're all general contractors. So the first thing is, you would have to look. You can always Google and just like Google tons of people that are within your demographics that you're trying to target. You know, that it's weird because like with real estate, it would be completely different. I think that they give you a cold call list that you can do. You can call those people, but every business is completely different. But with mine, I can generate it, and it tells me everybody who just received a license last year. And so I just put that all in my database. I put it on my an Excel sheet with the name, the phone number, their physical address, their email address, so that I can put them in the right columns. And that's pretty much it. So whenever I do cold calls, I don't really stick with a script, because then it sounds very fake. It doesn't sound natural. I go with good morning, this is Victoria from, I'm calling for, here's one, create and construct. That's a GC. And I want to see if you're needing any excavation services, or if you are going to be looking for an excavation company anytime soon. If so, this is my information. If not, that's fine. Then you move on to the next one. But there's no script. It's best to just do it very natural, because then it's not like you're a salesperson. They're more likely to pick up and stay on the phone if you don't sound like you're on a script. And so I print out a sheet like this. And this sheet has 31 numbers on here. I'll do this in the morning, from 10 to noon, and just knock this out and get this out the way. If I'm really busy, I'll just keep doing it every day until I get until I get somebody who is looking for somebody to start, and we kind of go from there. I've had a few projects that we've had just from our cold call specifically. So that's why I am very big on cold calls. If you're not willing to do cold calls, having your employees do them, they're very unlikely to do them, and they're not going to do them. They'll do anything else but do a cold call. So to ask them to do it, you have to be willing to do it as well. But I think a page a day, 31 is good enough. That's good enough. But I like to do these as well, even though, because we've been in business for about 6 years now, and I like to do these because it kind of gets me talking to people more. It gets me kind of interacting with people, and then also for people that are saying no, it also gets me sort of okay with hearing no and learning how to bounce back really fast. So that's one thing that I think is really good, is that if you're really good at taking rejection and being able to just recover really fast, then that helps you progress, and that helps you stay in business through those downs that you may have. So all right, so we're going to do the next cold call, just so you can see or have an example of how I do my cold calls. So let's see here.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
Alright, so that's very common. If that happens, you just put it on here and document it that you're unable to leave a voicemail. And then you put the date that you're doing everything. So it's January 13th of 2022. And so when you're doing these, you want to keep just noting, like if you have an email, you'll write down the email right away, so that you have it when you're going in there to send your information. And then if people are unable to leave voicemails, or if you left a voicemail, you just put left message on answering machine or left message on voicemail, and then you date it. Just so that you're going down, you know who you left voicemails to and who you did not leave voicemails for. So it's best to just knock them out and keep doing it. Bam, 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 bam. So I'm going to do a few of them so that you can see, and I'm just going to just keep doing them. You don't want to take a break, because the moment you take a break, this is like really, this is kind of like going to the gym in a way. You don't really want to do it, but you know that you have to do it. So it's best to just force yourself to get all the way through it and knock it out. So let's see.
Finished recording. You may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hello, this is Victoria with Wyman Excavating. I'm calling for Investments. I'm calling to see if you guys need an excavation contractor. We specialize in mountainside excavation and demolition for residential and commercial projects here in Arizona. So if you have any upcoming projects you'd like for us to bid, feel free to send it to my email. It's Victoria, Victoria, @ying.com. And my phone number is 602-5. You have a good day. Bye-bye. See, 226.
The subscriber you have dialed is not in service. If you feel you've received this...
Okay, so I double checked the number. Number doesn't work. So, what you could do, if you have a cold call list, you could go through on Google and just go to each company and see if they have a actual website. Because in all reality, everybody, most people don't want to talk on the phone. So they would prefer for someone to email them or send them something through their website. But if you can't find anything, then you'll just write down their number and you will just give them a call. I want to keep doing it until I get somebody who answers. So then you can see how the interaction is. And the reason why I want to get one person who says yes and gives me their information. Then I'll do one that's like, oh no, we don't do that, so you can see how you recover. Okay, let's see here. 623 203. Hi, this is Victoria with Wyman. I was calling to see if you guys needed an excavation contractor.
Where are you located? What area are you in?
We're in Scottsdale, but we service within Maricopa County.
Okay. Are you in Arizona?
Yes.
Okay. We're actually right now are only doing work in Texas.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind then. Thank you.
All right. No problem.
You take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Perfect. So only does work in Texas. So sometimes general contractors, they tend to have licenses in multiple states, so they can build in multiple states if they need to or plan to. So they're not quite ready yet, but that's really simple. If you don't need it or you don't need the work, it's easy. You just move on to the next one. You don't linger on it. It's not that big of a deal. If they don't need the service, they don't need it, and that's it. Every now the best times to call, this is something that's very important, the best times to call are Thursdays and Fridays. I would not do cold calls Monday through Wednesday, mainly because Monday nobody wants to be at work. Tuesday it's kind of like and Wednesday it's like midweek, but they're not too happy yet. Thursday they can see the weekend coming. So Thursdays and Fridays are the best times to do your cold calls if you're going to. Okay, so when you're doing these, make sure that you are upbeat, you're happy, that you're not like, hey, it's a, you want to sound happy, you want to sound upbeat, you want to sound cool, relaxed. Because if you get on the phone with someone and they sound like that, you don't want to take the call. You have no desire to take the call. But if someone's like, eager and happy to help if they can, or give you information if they can, you're more likely to take it even if you don't need it. So always stay positive when you're doing your cold calls. I know it's a bummer to have to do them, but this is what separates the people that are going to be very successful in their business to the ones that are not. Because if you're not willing to do what it takes, then it's your company's only going to be successful as to how far you're willing to go. And you have to sometimes do stuff like this. It is what it is. So you just keep moving along. 1583.
This is Brian.
Hi Brian, I'm calling to see if you guys need an excavation contractor.
And no, we don't. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
absolutely. Bye-bye. 3. So, you want to be more like relaxed.
Ready to be electric. Hello, Paul.
Hi Paul, it's Victoria with Wyman. I'm calling to see if you guys need Neoteric Builders needs like an excavation contractor for any upcoming projects.
Excavation. You're assuming the information. I do have one coming up.
Okay, what's your email?
Paul P.
Easy enough.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, right.
Easy. You may think so. For the frequency of doing these cold calls, I would say to do them roughly I usually do them every 3 months, but then when we got super slam busy, I did not do them for a long time. I only did them like once a year. But I would do them every 3 months, and you'll just keep adding to that cold call list. And when you're able to look for potential people to call, you just add them to the list. And then when you have free time, you just take a day and you'll just go like 30 at a time. But every 3 months was what I was doing. But then if you get crazy busy, every 6 months to every year. But the thing is that when you're busy, you want to constantly keep sending out emailers. You want to constantly keep sending out contacting them through their website if you don't have an email for them, or doing the cold calls, because when it gets slow, it's too late to really look for potential customers because you're slow. And by the time, like for our jobs, we can't actually mob and start working until they have pull permits, and then there's a whole slew of things that need to be scheduled before we even mob. So even if I get it today, unless they were ready, they already pulled permits, already had water meter set, already had everything in place, that's the only way I can mob like next week or so. So you don't want to wait till you're slow to start doing these. You want to do them consistently, every 3 months, every 6 months, or every year. So yeah, so we're going to continue these. 9 voicemail. All right, so we have 3 more left. Then we're done with the cold calls. I wouldn't go too crazy when it comes to cold calls. I think 30 is enough. You don't need to call like everybody and their mom, because believe me, it will be exhausting and tiresome. So just literally get these 30 done, and then update the system, send the emails to the people that you're able to get, and then move on. This is one thing I don't understand. Okay, so this is one thing too. So my phone gets, the voicemail box gets filled up really fast. Try to empty that out, because let's say it was a potential customer. They can't even leave you a voicemail to let you know that they want you to do whatever or buy your services. Foundation. Perfect, so I'll text the number to him. Okay, so we're done. See, look, we're done. So right on the side, I don't know if I could flip it, but on the side there, I like to put all my notes, and then I have an Excel spreadsheet. Pretty much I'm going to have my assistant put in all of the information, and she's going to put in there the date that I did it, that I did the cold calls. Then she's going to do the emails on there, and then she's going to highlight them, and I'll show you in the system. There, she's going to highlight them. She's going to send emails to all the people that gave us emails, and just let them know what our services are and how I would say out of 30, it took me about maybe an hour to do 30, an hour and a half to do 30. And it's probably because I'm talking to you and doing all that, but it doesn't take much time. So on my list, so this is what I mean by a cold call list. So, all right, so if you are familiar with Excel, I have an Excel spreadsheet. And so pretty much like this right here, this is like 2,284. So that's like my 2,284 contacts on here. And this is all builders that I've been able to generate from like the ROC. So I mean, if you have like a system where you can like just download all the contacts yourself and they provide it for you, you can do it that way and just put them on like your actual list. I would do that because then you know that you're not like calling people multiple times. If they don't want to be talked to, you can move them to like a do not call type of list so that you don't consistently repeat calling them. Same with emailing them or doing websites. You don't want to be excessive because that's absolutely unnecessary. You just have to reach out, see if they need your service, and if they don't, cool, you move on, you'll find somebody who will. But this is what I mean. So I went to here and I printed all of them like for one page and like copied it over. So I printed all of these out, and then I just put it on a sheet like this, and then I just put all of my notes here. Okay, and then my my assistant's gonna come in. She's gonna plug all this information that I put in here. So like for example, right here, I'll put 113. I'm sorry. Oops. Okay. So right here, I'll put 1 of 13 of 23, and then I'll put like the email. So Daniel, whatever, I'll put like all the email information, and then I have everything. I'm gonna take this out because she has like a special way of doing everything, but okay, so this is kind of how I have mine set up. You can set up the same or you can do a little bit different. So I have right at the top, I have do not call list in red. I have my sent emails in like a yellow. I have filled sub forms in blue. Contacted via websites like in a peach, and then I have new licenses with no infos in black. Contact via phone or website is in yellow, and then we have homeowners are in green, bidders list, and then builders mail lists are there. So if you look, those are like, that's how I have it separated. Obviously you guys can do it a little bit differently, but that's how I have it separated so that I can keep track of who I've called, who I've emailed, and all that. And then this is my do not call list. It's all in red. So those are all the people that don't want like information or don't really care to know like anything about anything. So I keep all that stuff because I don't want to repeat. Unfortunately, we all have to do things that we don't want to do. And this is something that people don't want to do, but it's 100% like necessary. You have to do these types of things to keep your business going and to keep things consistently coming in. And yeah, so I thought I would just show you what I do when it comes to my cold calls and how I knock them out. And again, if you have anything, any questions, or if you would like for me to go over something else pertaining to business, let me know. Other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one.